And we're back, baby. So here we go. We're about to finish this video out. How one tweet barked down streaming's biggest organization. R.I.P. R.I.P.Z to OTK. We still haven't got to the juice. We haven't got to the juice. We know the boys play WoW. We know I've played WoW since the very beginning as well. It was all in high school. I'm guessing we got to all be around the same age, 33, 34. I've been playing since I was in high school. I'm guessing the guys have been playing just as long. If you don't know me, check me out. Lamar's, baby. You know what I mean? I've been around. Okay? Stonewall, stop playing with me. But no, for real. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We're checking out Jabroni's video, and this is the part 2 of it. And let's get back into it.
Rich's stream was growing at an astronomical rate, gaining 80,000 followers in a month and rising into the top 200 overall most watched streamers on all of Twitch. Rich pushed even harder to grow his stream, and in October of 2021, he did a subathon that lasted from October 17th to October 29th. During this time, he streamed non-stop, bringing in a lot of new eyes to the channel. Rich was at the forefront of a new wave of content taking Twitch by storm: Final Fantasy XIV Online. Former World of Warcraft players who were unhappy with the state of the game flocked to Final Fantasy, and Rich was one of the biggest streamers supporting this new game. There were plenty of competitive challenges to tackle, but it also served as a way for Rich to have random encounters with fans, and sometimes girls Rich had DM'd.
Your first DM was, "Do you live in Canada?" in March 24th of 2019.
Shut up. I thought it was you. No, you tweeted some shit to me. Oh my.
How far is that from Montreal? I'm going to Montreal in 2 weeks. I was going to say, we should have a drink.
Oh my god. I thought you hit on me first.
It was a pretty well-known fact among Rich's fans that the main thing he was into outside of streaming was picking up girls.
Wait, with my house?
Oh, we should have said that.
Okay, let me pause real quick.
Have you-
What happened? I don't know what happened. But he's a grown-ass man. So, I mean, you know, I don't want to be biased on either side because I don't know what happened. Let's just stop right here. If a grown man is hollering at chicks who are watching his stream, and they're legal age, then that should be okay and normal. Like these chicks standing around, obviously them all some grown-ass chicks. That man bald. That man bald right there. The black man. Other black man bald. I got hair still, bro. So anyways, that's normal. People pick up chicks. There's a lot of chicks who are into gaming. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say that every guy who's ever hopped in my Discord or in a Discord I've been in or played the game with me and heard a chick's voice in a group hasn't tried to probably holler at her. Most dudes that play WoW are single, or they're, you know, either you're single or you're married, or you're like in this, you know, when you're single, and in between and trying to, you know, holla. So I know people that got married off of it.
You had with Richwcampbell?
Yes.
Oh, dang! I did not know some new information. Alinity? Alinity kind of a joint. They don't like her because she a troll, but I ain't gonna fake it. She got the Bizarre karate though, okay? Alinity is a joint. Anybody can say that, bro. When I get up, I'm sliding DMs, girl. What's up, Alinity? I'm just saying now, you know. The boy, you know, little shawty on back, you know what I mean? A little French for you, you know what I mean? So, I mean, holla at your boy or whatever, you know?
Stories of Rich's one-night stands were common clips, which is why fans were so surprised when Rich finally got into a committed relationship with a serious girlfriend in early 2022. Adult film star Mia Malkova ending up with a terminally online World of Warcraft streamer was a pretty funny matchup and made for some great content. In almost every interview Mia did from then on, she got asked questions about Rich.
100%. You have a type.
He has a pregnant fetish. He really wants to get me pregnant.
Ooh.
That's kind of hot though.
He has a what?
He wants to get me pregnant.
On December 15th, Rich tweeted screenshots from this clip with the caption, "Just had an awkward conversation with my parents that started with, we were on Instagram." The same day, a user named Azalea Lexi tweeted, "I know Mia Malkova isn't lying about Richwcampbell's pregnant fetish because he said he wanted to get me pregnant while he assaulted me and then sent me into the streets at 3 a.m. by
myself with nowhere to go." Okay. This is a tweet. Is this tweet cap or not? I don't know. We got to read into it. But listen, this is the thing. First off, not making no stuff for him or her or whatever. But when you got a certain level of status and you're with people, right? Some dudes got some weird game. Dude probably be drunk all the time. That's probably his thing. He's 30 something. You know what I mean? And the girls who are girls who are like 25 to 30 something, that's what, like, a lot of them, I ain't trying to, you know, a lot of people want to hear that. Like, oh my gosh, want to have a baby with me. We want to be together. Oh my gosh, we're going to have a baby. You know, and a lot of dudes are like, oh, people feel like their clocks are ticking. So is that true? Maybe. Maybe she says that he assaulted me and sent me into the streets at 3 a.m., I guess in Canada, in Quebec or whatever. I don't know. Montreal. Did that happen? I don't know, man. We're about to see. But, you know, again, we got to stay biased and we got to stay in the middle, okay? Can't choose sides.
Myself with nowhere to go. She followed it up with another tweet that said, I don't care if you believe me at this point, I'm sick of pretending it didn't happen, so that.
But then there's another thing though. Did he actually sexually assault her? Or was she over his house at that time? Because they was probably about to get it popping. Maybe some shit happened, maybe it didn't go how they wanted to go, maybe people want to do different shit or whatever, they get into an argument. It's your right to kick somebody out your crib. Because if this was vice versa, and he kicked the chick out his crib, I mean, she kicked him out the crib because he was getting all weird and, you know what I mean, or you know what I mean, then that would be fine. Nobody would say shit. They'd be like, yeah, you should have kicked his ass out, and I hope he was cold. It ain't right, but at the same time, like, was you flat broke? You didn't have any money to get a place? Like, get at least a hotel room? Like, Uber exists. This ain't 1970, you know what I mean? And you ain't got nowhere to go. Even then, they had taxi cabs and hotels.
There it is. At the same time, Rich was casting an Echo esports event in Switzerland. He was on camera the moment he saw the tweets.
Swiss.
In the blink of an eye, it looks like Rich's entire career might be over. The next day, Azalea tweeted, if you want the whole account, here it is. Excerpts from the twit longer read, Rich and I had a very up and down, on and off friendship and relationship for 4 years that started towards the end of his career on the Call of Duty desk. Our physical relationship started in Columbus, Ohio in 2019 and was a disaster from there. There were several times during the 4 years that he made it clear he only viewed me as a sexual object, but when I would confront him about it, I would get love bombed and gaslit into thinking he cared about me and wanted to.
This is sound familiar. It sounds like every guy-girl relationship, everybody, all these new age words. A gaslit and a love bomb. Listen, man, a lot of people only want people for sexual objects. Is it wrong? Is it right? I don't know. That's up to the people. That's what porn is. That's what, you know, prostitution is. I'm not saying, like, you know, in some countries that's legal. Sex work. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Prawn. I'm not trying to get banned. Prawn. That's what prawn is. That's what all those type of different things are, man. Like, there are a lot of women like this. There are a lot of cougars. There are a lot of young women who having hot girl summers. Meg Thee Stallion is the truth right now, right? Meg and Cardi and all them, they want to drop it on you and keep it moving, and they got all these dudes and stuff, and that's all right, and that's the thing now, right? But now it's like, oh, they lied to me and they love bombed me, bro. This stuff's not, it really ain't against the law, man. It's kind of fuckboyish, but it ain't against the law. Like, it happens on both sides.
To be with me. After he lied to me about having a girlfriend for an extended amount of time in June 2021, I didn't speak to him or see him until he called me asking to apologize around the end of July, beginning of August. I always had a deep love for Rich as a person and friend. As the beginning of our friendship, he was there for me like not a lot of people are. So I gave him another chance to be friends. He told me he would prove to me that he was working on being a better person and that he wanted to be in my life. Then in October, he began his typical antics and begged me to come to Texas around his subathon. I said no because I did not think it was appropriate to stay with him because I did not want to sleep with him and that I did not trust him. He also came to LA in December of 2021 and asked to see me, but mainly was only asking me to come to his hotel. I said no due to the fact that I was not interested in having sex with him. There was not much communication until I was at a French restaurant, AOC, in the Upper East Side on January 30th of this year with 2 girlfriends. As the night came to an end around 12 a.m., I Ubered to Rich's apartment in Williamsburg because he asked to see me. We were in the movie theater in his building and talking, and he repeatedly kept attempting to get me to lay on him. I repeatedly said, I'm not here to sleep with you and I do not want that. At one point in the theater, he said, I think tonight is the last time I'm ever going to see you. After trying to speak to him for an hour about our relationship and the awful way he treated me, he just continued to deflect and said there's no reason to talk about it because it makes him feel bad.
That makes sense. What I'm gonna talk about, you just said we're not sleeping together. We're not gonna be anything. Like, let's just be friends. If we're just gonna be friends, why are we gonna talk about why are we gonna talk about all the bad stuff that happened? Like, I was, you know, if you were in a bad state, you were in a bad state. Like, we're not gonna keep bringing it up if it doesn't matter anymore. You're saying, like, let's just move forward. Well, let's leave that past alone.
He said that we couldn't stay in that room and needed to go up to his apartment per the apartment rules. I said I don't trust that, and he.
Yeah, that's a little. Hold on, Rich. Hold on, Rich.
He promised me that was the situation, that nothing would happen, and he was respecting the boundary I set. We get upstairs and he starts talking about how hot I would be pregnant. Azalea then went into detail about the rest of what happened at Rich's apartment that night. It's too graphic for YouTube, but if Azalea's account is true, Rich raped her that night. Azalea described what happened next. Afterwards, I called my friend who I was staying with so I could come back, and she wasn't answering because it was late at night and she was already asleep. Rich said I couldn't stay there, so I called hotels around New York City looking for a cheap room. I asked for the nearest subway and it was a 20-minute walk. Without saying anything to him, I left and cried in his lobby as he texted me, "You okay?" I never replied. I left, went to a sketchy hotel in Chinatown and processed it by myself. I left New York the next day and never spoke to Rich again. She posted messages leading up to the night she described and the "You okay" text after. As soon as Azalea posted this on Twitter, she started receiving a lot of backlash. Commenters called her a clout chaser and worse. Asmongold had this to say.
I want to say a couple of things that I've just really got to say something about. I mean, it was a big shock to me. I think it was a shock to everybody. It's hard for me to process what's been going on. And I understand that for a lot of people, you all who might have been fans of Rich or Allcraft, you might have felt that way too. I want to say one thing, though, before I go any farther. You are not on our team. You are not helping us. You are not doing us any favors or doing anyone any favors by calling a girl that comes out and tells this kind of a story a liar. I read a lot of the comments on Twitter, etc. And I saw a lot of people that were saying that it wasn't true, that she's making everything up. Please do not do that. The third thing I want to say is that I read everything. I also know a few other things as well. This is not drama. This is not getting canceled. These are crimes. I don't want people to go in and call this is drama. It's not f***ing drama. This is serious. It is as serious as it gets. I took action as soon as I could. And I don't know.
Hey.
Asmongold backed this.
I just gotta say that, but I've never seen Asmon. I watch that dude streams all the time for like a few years actually before I started streaming or doing anything, and I've never seen him like that ever. That's deep.
Up with action, as the same day OTK tweeted, "Today we learned of troubling allegations made against one of our founders, Richwcampbell. Rich has resigned from OTK effective immediately." Rich had this to say, "I have read the statements made against me today. I will share my side of the story, but need some time to collect my thoughts. OTK has requested that I resign from my position, and I have agreed. I will make an update soon." Asmongold saying, "I read everything, I also know a few other things as well," begs the question, what are the other things? Are there other skeletons in Rich's closet that we don't know about yet? On December 23rd, one of the most popular content creators in OTK, JSchlatt, left the organization. With almost 2 million followers on Twitch and 4 million subs on YouTube, this was a huge loss for the org. The next day on December 24th, longtime streamer CaseyTron had this to say.
It was relayed to me by Lexi that Asmon communicated to her there were several other victims and that there are corroborating factors in each story. She told me that she is also aware of one other victim that has a similar theater story to hers. Jeez. And others that have stated he without consent.
Rich's immediate booting from OTK happened much differently than when another one of OTK's founders, Mizkif, was accused of covering up sexual assault just a couple months before. Mizkif stepped down from his duties with the org pending an investigation and continued to stream. He wasn't kicked off OTK and technically hasn't lost his job with them either. As of the time of this writing, Richwcampbell has remained completely radio silent. If you want to hear the story of exactly what happened with Mizkif and why he's still under investigation at the time of this video, you'll want to watch my Twitch's Darkest Allegations video right here.
Let's do top people, you know what I mean, was a part of it. Yo, that's crazy. See, when I first started this video, I was thinking, because I remember the Mizkif drama or whatever, right? Damn, Rich. But it hasn't actually been that long. It's only been a few days or whatever, right? It's only been like a week or two. So this dude was on it quick. He dropped this video 7 days ago. Shout out to Jabroni. You know what I mean? So if you smell what The Rock is cooking, shout out to Jabroni. Dude, that is so crazy that went down like that. And then they're hearing multiple stories. I think some people, when they get famous, they get a little money. I don't know, man. They're not used to that attention. They're not used to. He wasn't a bad looking dude, so that's what's weird. Like, they're not used to those, that kind of power and stuff. And the truth is, hearing that from multiple different people is crazy. But at the same time, you saw like some people are like, oh, what's up with him? Like, whatever. Like it's one of those things, man. Maybe they were all bad. Maybe they weren't all bad. I mean, that most definitely doesn't sound right. It's always a sticky situation when it's someone that you previously have been with sexually. You know what I mean? It's always sticky because forcing anyone's self on anyone is bad. Sometimes people do that though. I know I've had girls do that to me, and you know what I mean? And it's a situation where it's like, you're saying no, but maybe my no don't really mean no. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, no, I don't want to. And then you're like, what kind of guy I do? So, but, obviously in that situation, maybe it was a little bit of that. Maybe it wasn't. Obviously, when you kick someone out afterwards, it's going to go completely to the other side. Even if that wasn't how it happened, you know what I mean? Obviously, she had some kind of love for him, or she wouldn't have came back and hung with him. He took advantage of that situation is what it sounds like. I mean, if he would have completely folded and been like, listen, I do want to be with you type stuff, and you should stay. People are going to try to say, well, that was him coasting, or no, that would have been, maybe if that was honesty, then it would have been different. It might be your wife today. Who knows? But, unfortunately, dude's probably going to miss out on his whole career now because of these allegations and things that he did. It's sad to see that type of stuff go down. Shout out to, I really feel bad for Lexi for that happening to her, because, people, type of stuff happens, man. And I'm a man, subscribe to my page, man. Subscribe to Jabroni. I'm gonna drop a video today about how I got fired from Robot Technology. I was sexually harassed, and I know that seemed funny. Like, what? I was sexually harassed you. Listen, that stuff happens both ways, man. So, let's go. Subscribe.